Hello peeps and welcome back to Gult's Gorge. This is right after the episode that I did the ME controller. It's all right back here. I haven't done anything with it yet. Like, this is literally enough time for me to save my project audio and start recording again. So we're picking up right where we left off last time. Let's go ahead and come out here and get started with what I want to do on this episode as soon as we grab a bite to eat. And I don't know why I didn't grab it in there, because we've got some bacon cheeseburgers in here that I made a while back and just haven't been eating them. Okay, so what I want to do this episode is, I had mentioned a while back that I wanted to get a better power source going here. And right now, our reactor, our crystal reactor is not running, but our reactor in here is. And right now it's burning off fuel and it doesn't need to be. So let's turn that off, because this is totally full. We're basically just storing power in here. These things are throttling themselves. They're doing exactly what they should be doing. Anyway, all of this, neither here nor there. What I want to do this episode is I want to get started on a new set of machines. Because in order to make the induction cell that I want to have to store all of our power, we have to have access to lithium. And there's two different ways you can get lithium. Number one is you can get it from industrial craft. That's the stuff here. You get tiny piles of lithium dust. 9 of them makes lithium. To get the tiny piles of lithium dust, you have to run 2 nether quartz through a thermal centrifuge to get 1, which means it takes 18 nether quartz to get 1 piece of lithium. That's nowhere near what we're going to need. So, how do we get what we need? The other way, which is we make thermal evaporation plants. Thermal evaporation plants are multi-block structures that consist of thermal evaporation blocks, thermal evaporation valves, and 1 thermal evaporation controller. So, these require the thermal evaporation blocks, so we have to start with those. This requires it too. So, everything starts with the thermal evaporation block. 4 of these from 4 steel and 1 copper. I made a lot of steel off camera, like a lot of steel. So, we have plenty to get started. We're going to grab 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're going to grab 10 stacks of these. That should be enough to do everything we need it to do, but you don't know. I actually don't know yet. So we're going to need some advanced control circuits, which means we're going to need some advanced alloy. I should have looked and made sure I had everything I needed before I started this, but you know how that goes. I don't have any in here, do I? No, of course not. So we'll start getting some of this going. We'll wait until we get probably about 4 from each infuser. That'll get us started. This infuser's not upgraded, so this one's running much faster. I need to upgrade my machines a little bit more. 8 will get us started. We're going to need more than that, but 8 will get us going. So that gets us 4. That gets us enough for 2 thermal evaporation controllers. That's what we're going to need. Now these are going to require circuits too, so I'm going to need probably 6 more circuits. Let's come back in here, and there's 6 alloy there, there's 12 there. That's plenty for now. I have 16 of these left, so there's 6 of those, and we're going to get 6 of these thermal evaporation valves. Then we're going to grab the rest of the blocks out and we're going to go set this up. Now I'm also going to want the aqueous accumulator that I had. We're going to need some fluid conduit. I'm going to use pressurized. And we're going to need a couple of buckets of water to get the aqueous accumulator running. Here we go, 2 buckets of water. And I'm going to set these thermal evaporation plants up back here, I think. Is this where I want to set them up? Yeah, I think this is where I want to set them up. The thermal evaporation plants are a 4 by X multi-block, which means it has to be 4 by 4 on the bottom. And then it can be varying heights. I can't remember what the minimum height is. I think the maximum height is 18. But you place these, you place these thermal evaporation blocks down as the base. The next level, you have 1 thermal evaporation controller. And then you put in some valves. We're going to put a valve here, 1 here, and 1 here. I'll explain why in a little bit. You then complete the structure by building around the outside. And let's see if we can figure out what the minimum height requirement is. Incomplete, height 0. And we get the red particles, which tells us that it is formed. The height is currently 3. Temperature is 301 degrees Kelvin. Let's change it to Fahrenheit. Temperature is 85 degrees Fahrenheit. If you use Celsius, I apologize. I'm used to Fahrenheit. I learned the imperial system. The metric system makes a lot more sense, but I learned the imperial system, so this number means more to me than Celsius does. So I'm going with this. If you want to use Celsius, more power to you. Not going to judge. And I'm going to build this one exactly the same way. We're going to put the thermal evaporation controller here. I'm going to put a valve here, and a valve here. And then we will complete the multi-block. It occurs to me that I made way too many of these thermal evaporation blocks, but that's okay. There, the multi-block is formed. I made way too many of these things. Holy shit. I'm actually going to go get my wand because I want to raise these things up. I want them to be taller. So we'll get the Unbreakable Builder's Wand. Am I carrying? Yeah, I'm carrying silty grass on me. That's why it was an option. And we're just going to raise these towers up. Now, we are currently not using mechanism generators on the server. If we were using mechanism generators on the server, you could finish these things off by placing blocks here, like this, and then putting 1 advanced solar generator in each corner. And that would give you heating as long as it was daytime out. That would heat these things up and make them operate. But we're not using that mod. So we have to rely on a different method. Now these things are formed with a height of 9. I think these things can go up to 18. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Formed, height 18. If we go 19, is that going to break the multi-block? Yes, if we go 19, it breaks the multi-block. So we can go a maximum height of 18 with these. Now, if you were building this using the solar generators, this would be your final level. So you'd have to take these blocks out of the corner and put your solar generators on here. Since we're not using it, I'm not going to worry about it. We're going to have to figure out a different source of heating. and we'll get there shortly. All right, the first thing that I want to generate with this is brine. Brine is formed from heating water. We put an aqueous accumulator down and a water bucket on each side so that the accumulator works. And we'll see in here, we're going to start accumulating water as soon as I set this thing to pull. And I'm lagging to absolute hell. Did I just crash? Think I just crashed. Nope. Just took a second. Okay, so you'll see we are building up water in this thermal evaporation controller, and we are producing brine in very, very small amounts. Okay? We're currently producing 0.59 millibuckets a tick of brine. What do we do with the brine? Well, we pipe the brine out and into this other thermal evaporation controller, and we're going to see as soon as it kicks in and I stop lagging. One of these days, the first time you interact with these things when they start getting liquid in and it's trying to figure out the recipe, it can take a little bit. So you'll see we are now producing liquid lithium. That's awesome. The liquid lithium has to run through another process. Liquid lithium needs to be run through a rotary condensator. Condensator, whatever the hell. It needs to be run through that in decondensating mode in order to change it into lithium. That lithium, which is a gas now, by the way, is used, lithium, it's used in the chemical crystallizer to produce your lithium dust. So, we're going to need a rotary condensator, or whatever the fuck it is. I have a really hard time pronouncing it. And we're going to need a chemical crystallizer. Let's come in here and grab this alloy that I've been producing in here, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to need most, if not all of it. And for those wondering, yes, I could have used mechanism pipes here. I probably should have used mechanism pipes, just because these things... I've had issues with the pipes from different mods not interacting well with other stuff, but we're not going to worry about it too much for now. We'll run in here, we'll toss this in here, and we're going to build the rotary condensator, which takes a gas tank, a liquid tank, an energy tablet, 2 electronic circuits, and some glass. Energy tablet, pretty easy. Basic gas tank, also pretty easy, just osmium and redstone. Liquid tank, real easy, iron and redstone, no problem. I already have the circuits, so that's no problem either. Rotary condensator. Condensator, that's it. Now we need the chemical crystallizer, which is 2 gas tanks, 2 atomic alloys, and 4 circuits. So there's 2 gas tanks. There's our steel casing. And I already made some atomic alloy, so we've got all of that. And I have enough that I could actually make more of these thermal things. I might do that later. Because there are other things we're going to need brine and stuff for. So it's not wasted. We're also going to need some pressurized tubes because these transfer gases. And remember, the lithium that comes out of the rotary condensator is going to be a gas. We're also going to need some conduit, which I really need to upgrade all of my conduits. We'll get enhanced energy conduit. And it occurs to me that, well, actually, no, I can tap into this. All right, so coming out of this side, we're going to have our liquid lithium come out of here, and it's going to go into the chemical crystallizer. No, not the chemical crystallizer. It has to go into the rotary condensator. Okay? That is going to give us lithium gas. Okay, this is backwards. Okay, let's not use the pressurized fluid conduit for this. Let's use the mechanism conduits, the liquid tubes. Mechanical pipes. We attach the mechanical pipe here. And can I change the outputs? Yes, I can. Okay, so let's break this again. Let's pop that down again. And let's alter the sides. Wait, no, the chemical crystallizer I can alter. Can't alter the rotary condensator. There we go. Now it's connecting properly. So the elite mechanical pipe here is going to pull liquid lithium out of the thermal evaporation. We look in here, you'll see it's empty of liquid lithium. The liquid lithium has been piped into here, and it is now decondensating it into lithium, which is being piped out into this pressurized tube. We set the chemical crystallizer down. This is going to take that liquid lithium, or the gaseous lithium, and process it into lithium gas, or lithium dust. Okay? Now, we need to connect these to power. So we're going to use our enhanced energy conduits. And we're going to dig underneath all of these. I'm going to run straight into my... Oh, nope, this works. This is perfect. There we are. There's our conduit. So, let's go ahead and get some dirt on our hotbar so we can patch the hole as we back out. No. Conduit, conduit, conduit. Pop that there. Finish patching the hole. And there we go. These things are now running. It's producing lithium dust as it's able. We'll go ahead and get a chest to put on there. In order to hold the lithium dust. And side config, we're going to set auto eject on. And it's going to put all of our lithium dust in there. So as this produces lithium, it's going to, this is going to produce brine, which is going to pump through here into here. This is going to produce liquid lithium, which is going to pump in through here, get decondensated into lithium gas, which gets piped out by the basic lithium or the basic pressurized tube. Let's change this to a pole. It gets put into the rotary condensator, which turns it into lithium, or which takes the lithium gas and crystallizes it into lithium. Awesome. So we're now producing lithium, but we're producing it very, very slowly. Let's see about speeding this up. There is another type of tube that we have not messed around with from Mechanism. Let's see, what is it called? Thermodynamic conductor. There it is. Basic thermodynamic conductors. And you have the upgraded versions too. The thermodynamic conductors is copper around steel. We're going to get a couple of them. And we're going to go ahead and upgrade these using our basic alloy to get the advanced version. And I'm going to go ahead and upgrade these all the way. We're going to take them all the way to the ultimate version. Okay, and then we're going to need 2 fuel wood heaters, which is furnace, steel, basic control circuits, and some steel casings. That gets us 2 fuel wood heaters. Now, what does a fuel wood heater do? Well, exactly what it says on the tin. Except you don't have to use wood. You can use charcoal. If we take these thermodynamic conductors and attach them to the front, pop the fuel wood heaters on here, you'll notice that they connect. If we put some charcoal in here, it's going to start burning. And it's burning. It's raising our temperature dramatically, which is consequently raising our production speed dramatically. This bar here is the total production speed. It's how fast it's producing it. We're up to producing 10 millibuckets a tick, 11. It's going to keep going. This is now working much faster, which means this is now working. Well, it's not working any faster, but it's stockpiling lithium now. Whereas before it was having to wait. You can upgrade this, by the way, which I'm going to do, just not right now. But these are now burning charcoal, and you notice it burns pretty slow, actually. But it's burning charcoal to raise the temperature of these things a lot. Like a crazy amount. To the point that we're actually not producing enough water to run this thing now. This is inadequate. This is inadequate. I may run the water pipes over here. Actually, I probably should have put this plant over here. Probably should have put it over here. But I kind of like having the towers raise up behind everything. I think it looks cool. And there's another reason why I wanted to have it here. Because I don't want to have to stop and supply the stupid thing with charcoal. So we are going to hook this into our ME network. We're going to take some export buses. Two of them. We're going to need some we're going to take some smart cable. We're going to need a P2P tunnel and our memory card. And we're going to dig through the floor. Now, how many channels are we currently using here? We don't know. Let's find out. Let's get some of our white smart cable, and we'll use the white smart cable to run this network on. I'll leave the flux cable there at the end. So, how many channels are we currently using? Looks like 1. Or is that 2? I think it's 2. No, it's only 1. So, let's dig out from under here and figure out where we are in relation to these. We're going to put an export bus on the bottom of both of these. And I'm actually going to take it a step further. I'm going to get an input bus. Do I have one already? No. Helps if I pronounce or spell it right, huh? Import, not input. And while we're at it, we're going to have 4 channels, or we're going to have 8 channels. 32 actually on this P2P, so we're going to put the import bus on there. And let's get an absolute shit ton of cable. Just going to use the glass cable for most of this. We'll get a stack of it. I'm going to need it anyway. And we're going to run the white carrier line out here. And yes, that's facing correctly. Or no, it's not facing correctly. Break that, cable down, attach that. That's facing correctly. So smart cable to there, and we're going to run cable like this. Do I have any regular smart cable on me? Yes, I do. I want to use smart cable for this connection. Don't need it, but I want to use it because I did a really bad job of explaining the network last episode, and I kind of want to... Oh, shit. Hi, progenitor. I need to heal you. Like, big time. Need to heal you. Let's not go that way. Let's leave the progenitor's safe spot alone. Okay, and we'll run some cable over here. Not smart cable, just regular cable will do for here. Okay, that connects the network, so we'll patch the grass. And we can patch the grass here in a minute, because I need to connect these tunnels. So we're going to shift right click that, and we're going to pick, let's see, That's carrying 8. This is capable of carrying 32. So what I really should do is not even use... Well, no. I'm going to connect this to a different one because I want this to be all about access and storage. And I want this to be about outside handling out that way. So we're going to connect to there. No, it's still a little fiddly. Okay, we're linked. Output side, input side. We can see we're using 3 channels because there's 3 light blue lights. If we want to automatically take charcoal out of our system and put it into those, we can. All we have to do is get some charcoal. And if we were to look here now, we have lithium in the system. Because this input bus, I'm going to explain this one more time and hopefully I do a better job of this. This input bus is connected by this cable to this P2P network. This is network 1. It then switches into the carrier network. All of the data from here is taken from here into this P2P tunnel and carried across the carrier network. The carrier network is coming in here and it's feeding into this ME controller. The ME controller is then passing the carrier network into this cable. It's actually this cable right here to this P2P, which is linked to it outside. The data from network 1 out there is then passing from this P2P tunnel into the ME controller. See how that works? And then the ME controller is interfacing with this P2P and sending the information through there, which is sending it back through this carrier line, back through the carrier controller, back through the cable to this P2P and linking it into our system here. Hopefully that makes a bit more sense now that I've actually run through it once. And you guys can actually kind of, visualize what's happening here. Let's go ahead and repair the floor. I'm not too worried about repairing the outside because you're not going to be able to see it anyway by the time I'm done. Although, yeah, I'll repair it. Why not? I like to have a good stable foundation. We can now bury most of this. And the export bus here, we're going to give a piece of charcoal. This is now outputting charcoal into the fuel wood heater. And here, outputting charcoal into the fuel wood heater. Seal this up. And this thing is now going to produce, holy shit, 4.36K Fahrenheit. And it's still rising. We are producing... Yeah, I think I'm gonna change this and put some pumps in here. Or connect it into this network, although I'm not sure how much water that's gonna pull. So I may not want to connect it into the main water tank over here because it may pull more than I'm expecting. So what I might do, let's actually do this. I'm gonna get 3 pumps. The electric pumps. Alrighty. And we're going to break out the aqueous accumulator. Do I have mechanical pipes on me? I do. I'm going to break out this aqueous accumulator. And I'm going to get the buckets and we're going to pick up the water. because I'm going to need this to be one more down. Not sure how I feel about that. The conduit will run up here. If I set the pumps down like that, yeah, they're going to face inside. That's not what I want. So I need to place the pumps down here. Right click onto these blocks to place the pumps. And then we can run the conduit up. I actually want to run the conduit down first. So, how do I want to do this? This is an interesting conundrum. I might put the pump system back there, just for appearance sake. And then let's keep the conduit network uncovered, because I'm going to need to run the conduits up here to get to the pumps. Let's get the conduits and run the conduits first, because then I can just place the pumps directly on the conduits. Oh, I already have the conduits on me. Derp. Okay. If you run across random holes in your world like this, if you've been using a digital miner, that's why. Okay, if we place the pumps on here, they're going to bind to that. They're going to get power. We can now fill this in. We dig out underneath it. Place down the water buckets. 1, 2. Pop the grass back down. The mechanism pumps don't require, they require an infinite water source below them, but they don't drain them like a lot of pump methods do. And then we'll take our elite mechanical pipes and we'll run those to the tops of these. This will allow me to upgrade this separately. We've capped this thermal evaporation controller. That's awesome. I wonder if I could get away with just using one fuel wood heater if I absolutely need two. Don't think it really matters, to tell you the truth. But we're producing lots of lithium now. We're actually getting a backlog of liquid lithium. Okay, so that takes care of that. We're now producing lithium, which we can use down the road to upgrade our power network. It's going to be a while before we're ready to do that, though, because it takes not only a lot of lithium, it takes a lot of everything. Let's take a look at the induction thing so we get a general idea of what we're going to need. We need the induction casing, which is steel around energy tablets. Not too bad. Gets you 4 of them. You need the induction ports. Elite control circuits with induction casing gets you 2 of them. You only really need 2, so not bad. But you need at least 2 basic induction providers, 1 on each side of these induction ports. Just the basic one takes a basic energy cube, 4 circuits, and 4 lithium. The basic energy cube takes 2 tablets, steel casing, redstone, iron. Not too bad. That gives you a maximum throughput of 128 kilojoules. You can have 128 in and 128 out. If you're pulling more than that, you have to either add more induction providers or you have to upgrade to the advanced induction provider. This gives you 512. So if you have 2 of these, you have a megajoule. Now, mind you, this is in joules. This isn't in RF. So this isn't a... let's switch our... I'm going to go to the pumps and change this to RF, because then everything should change to RF. So that's 40 RF a tick. This is 25.6 kilo RF. So you can handle 512, or you can handle 52,000 RF per tick with the basic induction providers, 2 of them. This allows you to handle up to 409.6 RF per tick. This takes 4 of that previous tier plus an advanced energy cube plus advanced circuits. So 1 of those upgraded, and then 4 of these. So it takes 5 basic energy cubes. In order to store 400 million RF, you have to have a basic energy cube, 4 energy tablets, and 4 lithium. If you want to upgrade that to 3.2 billion, you have to have 4 of the previous tier plus the advanced. The elite holds 25 billion, 4 of the previous tier plus the elite. The ultimate, 4 of the previous tier plus that, holds 204 billion. So we're talking some pretty hefty material costs, and we're probably going to want to have auto crafting in place before we start messing with that. Yeah, we're talking some pretty beefy requirements to get some of this stuff done, which we'll get there. We're not there yet, but we're getting there. The stuff that we've set up on camera here today gets us a lot closer. And I don't know why I just broke that, because I know that the progenitor's down there. So, this gets us lithium production. With enough lithium, we can create the induction network and be able to store absolute crap tons of power, which we're going to need to be able to do. We'll go ahead and dump my inventory here. Charcoal, yeah, we're holding off good on charcoal for the moment. I'll probably set up auto crafting on charcoal to where if we drop below a certain amount, it automatically starts producing some for us. But that'll be further down the road. I think 1.5k charcoal is going to hold us for a while. So this is where I'm going to call this episode. Next episode, we are going to get this thing finished. We're going to get it to the point where we can start auto-spawning some withers. So that ought to be a lot of fun. I'm also thinking about changing the size of this force field to an actual 7x7 in order to get full coverage for this, but I don't think I need to at the moment. We'll try it the way it is now, and we'll let it go. Anyway, I think that's enough for one episode. This has been Night Dagger with I believe this was episode 19 of Let's Play on Gult's Gorge. Hope you guys are enjoying the series so far, and I'll catch you later, peeps.